Hiya, I'm Lou. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made my custom Baldur's Gate 3 character sheets based on the Deluxe Edition companion sheets. First off, I made that blank template myself by exporting the official PDF files into PNG and erasing bits, photo bashing, and everything until it was clean and empty again. Because yes, there are other blank versions made by fans online, but every time I found one it was smaller than the A4 format of the official ones, meaning we cannot print them out in good quality sadly. Here's my first attempt with a template I had found on Tumblr, but as you can see it's less than 1/4 of the OG size. Anyways, you can download this template for free on my Ko-fi. It comes in PNG, PSD, and Clip Studio Paint files. There is also a text file explaining my steps, fonts that look close to the official sheets, how to use the sheet, and more. But in this video I'm gonna emphasize on details and how I turn this screenshot into this illustration using Clip Studio Paint features. Let's start by a quick tour of what the files have. You can easily toggle on and off layers to choose what fits your character, like the class icons here. I also noticed they made little color gems for the main abilities, so you can choose them here. And right below you can pick your proficiencies in red, and the teal orbs means it's your expertise if you're a rogue, for example. I'll show you where you can find all the information you need to fill this later in case it's your first time doing a character sheet from D&D. Let's start this with the illustration. First, you want to pick up a cool picture of your Tav at the level you want. My first version was Vesper at level 12 to have fun with post-game possibilities, but here I'm gonna make a level 1 sheet, for example. For the quick test, I used a stupid picture of Sherwin just to show you how I use CSP filters. So you go to Clip Studio Paint, Filters, Effects, Artistic Effects, and you choose the option to work with both lines and colors and play around the settings to make it look closer to the official sheet's portraits. With that base you can play with the colors, the values, and even extend the background if you want. You can also delete parts to make it look like it's painted on the paper. Anything you like. Be creative. Let's go for real this time. For the picture I wanted something without outfit, but I didn't like the expression, so I took another picture that I mixed on top of it. At this point it doesn't have to be clean or perfectly rendered, it's totally fine to just put it there. Then I simply go through the same process I showed you earlier with filters, effects, artistic effects. Another thing I've realized while working on this is that most of the character portraits have at least one part that overlaps or covers some of the icons on the rest of the sheet. At this point you can either leave it as it is or render on top to add details and textures. This is completely optional. If you do want to draw, I advise you to always keep the official portraits nearby to capture the same vibe. They do some sort of little strokes to make highlights and shadows, and there are outlines to most part but not everywhere. For the background, you can either paint it, use a picture with the artistic filter on, or just do both like so. As Sherwin is a Svirfneblin, or Deep Gnome, I made him in the Underdark, based on an older artwork I've done last year. It's also good to work with contrast in mind and textures to make it pop. You can also add crests, important items, symbols, places, spells, whatever your character is linked to. For Sherwin, it's these birds, since they never had the chance to see any before they went to the surface for a new beginning. Now you just have to fill it with informations. You can easily find them from your character's inventory, the abilities and the modifier when you hover over them, your proficiencies bonus on the next page, as well as all your proficiency marked with 1 star, and expertise marked with 2 stars. When you have 3, that means you have both proficient and expert on this skill. The following page gives you your class, level, background, race, armor class, hit points, initiative and speed, but also your proficiencies. Below that you have your saving throws bonuses, and then you can type the name of your weapons, your attack bonuses, the damage it deals and what type of damage it is. For the icons, you can easily use the ones from the Baldur's Gate wiki. They have every item, spells, weapons, and even armor pieces you can find in the game. For the letters, I used a gradient of gold to make the shiny bits, some light brown for most of the main page text, and darker brown for the other pages to make it more readable. And there you have it, your own Tav or Dark Urge as a fully functional and playable Dungeons & Dragons character. As this was a thief, they had no spell slot, but for spells you can go to your spellbook to write down the names of the spells in the right level category, as well as adding some gems to say whether you have them prepared or not. Here's Vesper, for example. Now I just hope you'll have fun making these sheets, and if you need anything, leave me a comment here or DM me on any platform. I'll try to get to you as soon as possible. I hope this was useful, and until next time, go check my artworks. If you like Baldur's Gate 3, Dragon Age, Fire Emblem, fantasy in general, and even some Mass Effect, you'll have a lot of food to catch up to.